Now, before I start this video, I'm picking 5 winners to get a $100 Amazon or PSN gift card, totally free. All you have to do is subscribe, like, and drop a comment telling me what was the first game you ever played and what's your earliest gaming memory. Winners announced soon. Good luck, legends. Have an amazing, wonderful night, and back to the video. Welcome back. It's your boy Mo from the Gaming Monarchy, and today we're diving into part 2 of the nostalgia gaming iceberg. After the unexpected boom of the first one and all your comments, love, and shares, I knew we had to go even deeper. We're not just scratching the surface this time, we're going straight into the core of your childhood, games you forgot existed, and memories of those times when everything was peaceful.
You work for me now!
I live among the creatures of the night. Jimmy, please say something.
This is where nerds became bullies and geeks became men. Whether you were failing that godforsaken chemistry class, popping people in the head with your slingshot, or sneaking into the girls' dorm after midnight, bully had you in a chokehold. For most of us, this was more than a game, it was a rite of passage. Rockstar initially dropped it as bully, but the UK got sensitive, and you know how it is overseas, so they switched it up to Canis Canem Edit. Legendary game, legendary vibe, and legendary name nevertheless.
Hopkins, but I need you to do something for me.
Go away, Jimmy!
And boy, that nose of yours, keep it clean.
Welcome to Bullworth. This product is not yet rated.
Now, if Bully was your chaotic schoolyard fantasy, Shadow of the Colossus was the complete opposite. It was isolation, silence, and soul. This game wasn't about combos or kill streaks. It was about climbing mountains that breathe. Colossi that weren't just enemies, they were ancient gods, living, moving puzzles. And for a lot of us, this game didn't just leave a mark, it left a crater in our memory. That feeling of riding across an endless desert on Agro's back, the wind in your ears, heart pounding as you scale a skyscraper-sized beast, it hit different. And maybe, just maybe, it was the first time a game made you question if you were really the hero after all. How can we make it to any nostalgia iceberg without bringing up this absolute masterpiece? Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Before Elden Ring, before God of War, before all these modern cinematic hack and slash games, we had this. A movie tie-in game that somehow ended up being 10 times more badass than it had any right to be. You're not just playing a movie, you're living it. You get to swing swords as Aragorn, cast magic as Gandalf, and go full beast mode as Legolas with that bow. And the sound design? Mwah. Every metal clash, every Frodo felt like you were in the middle of a damn war. This was couch co-op in its prime, also on the GameCube. And if you ever managed to finish this game on the hardest difficulty, man oh man, I congratulate you, you are a beast. This game was something else. Not even Elden Ring in some boss cases was as difficult as The Lord of the Ring, Return of the King.
This way!
Anyway would be fine about now.
Aragorn will be forced to rise above fear. For as king, he will need to stand against Sauron's malice and unite all who fear Mordor. Aragorn and his companions must first break the will of the King of the Dead. For Isildur cursed him. Now his heir must master his malice. Without this victory, our cause shall be forever lost.
And to close out level 0, let's take a neon lit ride through the criminal paradise that raised half of us. GTA Vice City, which is also, by the way, my favorite GTA. Before GTA Online and Shark Cards, before planning $1,000,000 heists, there was just Tommy Vercetti. From the 80s pastel shirts to that synth-soaked soundtrack, everything about Vice City just hit different. And let's be honest, who focused on missions in the story? We were basically just getting 5 stars on purpose. Every crash, every cop chase, every explosion felt like it belonged in a movie. Vice City didn't try to be real, it tried to be unforgettable, and it nailed it on the spot. Now, if you had a PS2 or a PSP back in the day, there's a good chance this one snuck into your collection, even if you didn't ask for it. Ratatouille, the game, dropped in 2007 right alongside the movie, and somehow it went hard. Running around the kitchen as Remy, parkouring through Paris pipes, dodging giant cleavers, this game had no business being this good. And let's be honest, we all spent at least 1 hour stuck in that goddamn rat race sewer level, with the music looping on repeat. I can never forget that moment.
I don't want to go to school. 5 more minutes.
Not you, Dad, me.
Okay.
Get up. Time for school, time for school.
All right, I'm up. It's time for school.
Whoa.
Yeah, call it a kid's game all you want. But back then, this was hard. From the jellyfish levels to dodging sharks in the dark, this game had no business being this stressful. I thought I was playing Elden Rings at moments. You'd think it'd be a calm underwater journey, but nah. You were out here struggling for your fish life, heart-pounding, trying not to lose Dory again.
Has anybody seen a boat? Please, a white boat! They took my son! My son! Help me, please! Look out!
Now, this game was everywhere, and I mean literally everywhere. If you owned the console between the 2005 and 2008 generation, chances are this disc was either scratched to death or permanently stuck inside your machine. Madagascar, the game, wasn't just a movie time. It was a full-blown chaotic sandbox of animal anarchy. From throwing mangoes at tourists to breakdancing with the lemurs, every level felt like a fever dream. And don't lie, you definitely yelled, "I like to move and move it. You like to move and move it." At least once while playing. We all did.
Fine technique, son. Now let's see you land that green gourami fish.
Before LEGO games became a whole franchise beast, this one right here set it off, and I remember it quite vividly. It was clunky, it was chaotic, and it was absolutely legendary. Blasters flying, limbs popping off, and that weird grunt sound every character made, you know the one. But somehow, in all its jankiness, it delivered pure magic. This was couch co-op heaven. You, your siblings and cousins button mashing through Jedi battles. This was peak childhood. We're starting level 2 strong with one of my all-time personal favorites. Burnout Paradise wasn't just a racing game, it was therapy. No rules, no limits, just you, an open city, and the sweet, sweet, destructive symphony of metal crushing at 200 miles per hour. I remember those nights where I launched off ramps like a lunatic with a death wish and a need for speed. Yes, pun intended. Even the soundtrack slapped on this one. This game raised a generation of adrenaline junkies, and I was one of them.
Resident Evil 4.
Who doesn't remember this one? This game changed everything. This was when Capcom took a risk. It ditched the old slow burn horror and turned up the heat with an over-the-shoulder camera, crazed villagers, and non-stop pressure. Every corner felt like a trap. Every door you opened, you prayed it wasn't the chainsaw guy waiting behind it. Leon? He wasn't just a cop anymore. He was the definition of cool under pressure, even while suplexing parasites in a short And if you grew up playing Resident Evil, you're immune to fear, my friend. And I respect that.
¡Por allí! ¡No dejes que se escape! Vayan por detrás.
Why are these people?
¡Bloqueale el paso!
What are they planning? Chainsaw. Shit.
¡Te voy a matar!
Son of a...
You ever buy a game just because The Rock was on the cover? Yeah, same. Spy Hunter Nowhere to Run had Dwayne Johnson or The Rock front and center and back when he was still breaking into Hollywood. The game promised high-speed car chases and gadgets, but surprise, surprise, it ditched the car and gave you boots-on-ground action instead. Confusing? Kind of. But if you rented this from Blockbuster and stuck it out, you probably remember a weird mix of combat and Rock's one-liners that kept on repeating over and over and over and over. Was it a masterpiece? No, not even close. But was it a memory? Well, absolutely it was for me.
uncharted reaches of the Pacific Ocean.
This is it, the island of the skull.
Thousands of miles from civilization.
This island gives me the creeps.
There lies an island where men do not go. For good reason.
Oh my god!
King Kong, the official game of the movie. Yes, that's the full name. King Kong, the official game of the movie, because apparently just King Kong wasn't enough. But here's the thing, this game ate. Whether you were blasting through Skull Island with a shotgun or going full beast mode as Kong himself, it hit different. The atmosphere was dark, the tension was real, and for once, a movie game actually slapped.
Play as man. Play as Kong. Play Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. Coming November 22nd, 2005. Rated E10 to D.
Clover.
Okami.
If magic had a paintbrush, it would leave behind something like Okami. Every frame looked like it belonged in a museum, and every battle felt like a dance between myth and ink. It didn't care about rushing. It wanted you to feel the strokes, to slow down, and let beauty guide you. Not everyone finished it, but those who did, they still hear the wind and remember the way the sun felt in that beautiful world. Back when plastic guitars ruled our bedrooms, this game was the reason half of us thought we could actually tour with Metallica. The colors flying down the screen, the rush of hitting a full combo, and the pain of missing one note, just one note in the middle of Cliffs of Dover. It all lives rent-free in our muscle memory. You didn't need to know how to play guitars or drums, you just needed your heart, rhythm, and maybe a friend to scream over, "The devil went down to Georgia" with you. This one dropped right alongside the Michael Bay movie, and oh, what a game it was. I remember, for once, I said a movie game didn't feel like a total cash grab. You could play as either Autobots or Decepticons, causing chaos in semi-open environments, throwing cars, scaling buildings, and yes, transforming mid-combat like an absolute menace. The graphics were gritty, the explosions satisfying, and the voice acting surprisingly solid. Was it clunky? Of course it was. But for any kid watching Optimus Prime on the big screen in 2007, this game was everything for them. I remember myself wanting just to play with Optimus Prime and thinking about it all day while I was at school.
Huh? Hey, come back!
This one had no business at all going that hard on a PSP. You play as Travis, a truck driver who takes one wrong turn and ends up in Silent Hill. Yeah, classic mistake. But instead of running, he decides to dive deeper into the madness. You're flipping through mirrors that throw you into full-on nightmare worlds. One second you're in a hospital, next the walls are bleeding and the nurses ain't even trying to hide the trauma. The vibe, claustrophobic. The puzzles, confusing as hell. And the enemies, straight up uncomfortable nightmare. It didn't need jump scares. The whole game felt off, like something was watching you the entire time. If you played this at night with headphones on by yourself, I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm talking about, and you're built different. You might not admit it publicly, but if you had this game, you sang every damn line. This was peak Disney Channel era, and whether you were Team Troy or pretending not to even know every word to bet on it, come on guys. This game had you belting like your social life didn't depend on it. Plug in that USB mic and suddenly you were in the moment right in your living room.
Oh, radical!
A chaotic, beautiful masterpiece. GTA-style mayhem meets yellow chaos. This game lets you hijack cars, slap people, and uncover conspiracies. All in the world of Springfield. Who doesn't love Springfield, guys? Come on, it's The Simpsons. And let's be honest, you never actually followed the missions. Or maybe I did. Maybe you didn't. But anyways, you just drove around causing destruction and laughing at Homer's one-liners on repeat. I don't think any soul knew what was going on in this game, but we all played it like it was sacred. Disney meets Final Fantasy in a bizarre fever dream of heartless monsters, keyblades, and emotional cutscenes you barely understood, but deeply felt. One second you're fighting alongside Goofy, next you're in a tragic monologue with Cloud. And somehow, it worked. This game straight up haunted my childhood. One slip, dead. Boss fight, hope you picked the right damn hand in rock, paper, scissors. Alex wasn't smooth like Mario. He was clunky, unpredictable, and full of rage, just like me. But man, when you finally nailed the level after 30-ish attempts, you felt like a god. It was painful, brutal, unfair, and somehow I loved every second of it. Before Marvel became a cinematic religion, this was our first taste of the superhero team dynamic. And yes, it was janky, yes, it was mid, but god was it fun. Awkward dialogue and boss fights that felt more epic than they deserved to. And if you were like me, you only played as the Human Torch and spammed fireballs like a goddamn pyromancer.
So much for the mighty Mole Man.
My work ruined. My family lost. I will avenge myself on the Fantastic Four someday.
That day ain't coming.
The Hugh Jackman era Van Helsing movie was gothic cinema gold, and the game, a dark, gritty hack and slash that felt criminally underrated. You roamed monster-ridden towns, slayed werewolves and vampires, and lived your edgy 2000s fantasy with a spinning saw blade and that deliciously gloomy soundtrack.
I think you'll find the view from here most enchanting.
Now we're in real psychological horror territory. This wasn't your typical survival horror. This was a mind trip. You didn't fight monsters, you ran from them, helpless and freezing in the snow. And the game tracked your decisions, twisted your psyche, and changed its entire ending based on how you played. If you finished it, you were left shaken. If you didn't, you probably still hear that ringtone in your dreams. You know the one I'm talking about.
identification number is WKD4496. Welcome to your new home.
Her name is Claire Redfield. We caught her trespassing in our Paris lab facility 10 days ago. She apparently
One of the most slept on Resident Evil entries ever. And it didn't get the love Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 2 did, but fans who knew this game knew how hard it went. The dual protagonist gameplay was something out of this world, and the messed up Ashford twins? Wow, and who can forget that creepy ass dollhouse manor? This one had lore, tension, and absolutely unforgiving difficulty. And let's be honest, half of us were just simping over Claire Redfield's PS2 era jacket. Respectfully, of course. This was one of my favorite games growing up. The kind where you'd finish school, slam your bag on the floor and load straight into some chaotic dash level that had you breaking your controller in half. I don't even remember finishing it. I just remember playing it non-stop. Elastigirl's missions were slick. Mr. Incredible felt unstoppable, and that damn robot boss burned into my memory. No fancy mechanics, no modern polish, just pure superhero energy and a soundtrack that still lives in my head rent-free till this day.
Bullseye!
A gritty shooter with a twist. Destruction. Actual, total destruction. This game lets you blow literal holes through walls, dig tunnels, and turn environments into your playground of carnage. For a PS2 era title, this was wildly ahead of its time. And if you didn't accidentally grenade yourself while trying to tunnel out of a room, were you even really playing Red Faction?
Survival is not enough.
This game lived rent-free in my pink PSP. And yes, I had a pink PSP. And no, I don't regret it. I'd take it everywhere. Car rides, school breaks, even hiding under the covers at 2 a.m. with the volume all the way down. Daxter finally got to step out from Jack's shadow, and man, he owned it. Running around Haven City, roasting bugs, jumping into those ridiculous movie dream sequences, it had personality dripping out of every pixel. The controls were smooth. The humor actually hit. And for a PSP game, it felt huge. It was the kind of game you didn't just beat, you lived in it. This was peak Ezio. Rome at your feet, a hidden blade on your wrist, and an entire brotherhood of assassins ready to jump in on command. I used to spend hours just free running across rooftops, pulling off the cleanest assassinations, even if the mission didn't ask for it. The towers, the crossbow, the multiplayer, it all felt fresh back then. Brotherhood wasn't just another Assassin's Creed game. It was the perfect mix of story, style, and chaos that made you feel like a true master assassin.
Ezio Auditore. Brave of you to stand alone against me, but also quite foolish. Assassin.
GTA Chinatown Wars. Now, this isn't a game that has been spoken about a lot in the past decade, but trust me, if you played this game, you know how big this was. Easily the most underrated GTA title, dropped on the DS first, yes, really, and somehow managed to squeeze all that crime, chaos, and Liberty City madness into a top-down touchscreen format. From drug-dealing minigames to hacking puzzles, it was weirdly addictive at the time. But let's be honest, most people either missed this entirely or gave up when they realized it wasn't full GTA.
Half a century ago, a servant had found all 3 riddles dead.
Perhaps if we were to do it without the boy, my lord?
No. Harry Potter is as good as mine. It is decided.
Harry Potter and his friends Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger travelled by portkey to the Quidditch World Cup final, where they saw Ireland defeat Bulgaria. Later that night, a gang of Death Eaters, followers of Lord Voldemort, rampaged across the campsite. Arthur Weasley sent Harry, Ron and Hermione back to the portkey.
This one changed the point. No more Google and Hogwarts. Instead, we got a wicked, fast-paced, level-based adventure with chaotic multiplayer, spells flying across the screen. If you ever tried casting Accio while your dumb sibling spammed Incendio, you knew the struggle. It was frustrating, clunky, and confusing, but for some of us, it was Harry Potter gaming.
Only one champion can win the Triwizard Tournament, and that champion must survive 3 very dangerous tasks. Your 3 champions are Victor Crump, Fleur Delacour, and lastly, Cedric Diggory. Harry Potter.
Gingerbread Man versus Puss in Boots.
A janky, loud, totally cracked out brawler featuring Shrek, Donkey, and a bunch of DreamWorks characters hurling pies, roars, and suplexes at each other. If you played this with friends, you're either still laughing or still salty. The chaos was unreal. The fact this exists, even better. And finally, for our last game on this iceberg, we have Manhunt 2. You already know this game. This one Rockstar game that doesn't have to be talked about. The one parents banned, countries censored, and stores refused to stock. A deranged violent descent into madness where every kill was a minigame and every sound made you paranoid. If you played this as a kid, you weren't just edgy, you were probably traumatized. A cult horror gem that never got its flowers, or maybe did, at night, in the dark. And that's it for today's dive into nostalgia. I appreciate every single one of you for being here and hanging out with me. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. And as usual, this is your boy Mo from the Gaming Monarchy. Have an amazing, wonderful night, and peace.